Salvador Dali, the Spanish artist and master of surrealism, didn't want his dreams to fade. He developed a unique technique where he would sit at a table with a plate and a spoon in his mouth, and soon as he would fall asleep, the spoon would fall and it would snap him out of his sleep. Salvador Dali's secret to his most famous masterpiece wasn't just inspiration, but also self discipline. In 1931, his extreme dedication created his masterpiece, The Persistent of Memory. This painting captured millions and was the perfect visual statement of his unique genius. Today, we will learn about the psychological impact of The Persistent of Memory, also known as the melting clock. Secondly, the genius of his surrealism. And third, how this painting captivated and inspired Americans and artists across the globe. Our journey to Salvador Dali's stardom begins with the initial and deepest impact of this painting, the psychological impact it had on his viewers. If you look at this psychologically, this painting is essentially a visual roadmap of our brains. Some say it's unsettling and exposes the chaos of the subconscious. Dallas once said, the subconscious is no chronological structure. Events can happen indefinitely. Clocks are a symbol of time. So seeing it in a limp or soft visual would create a psychological reaction for its viewers. So, the impact of this painting is realizing that time only really exists in our brains. Psychologically, the melting clocks would have been lost in Dali's brain if it wasn't for his dedication and masterful techniques. If the melting clock provide a psychological shock, then secondly, we'll talk about the unparalleled technique genius that made this painting possible. The persistence of memory wasn't achieved by the persistence of memory was achieved by cultivating a delusional state while retaining a rational control over the paintings. This specific technique is called paranoid critical method. Dali adopted the painting style he called hand painting dream photography. A year before this painting was painted, he started this self inducing method. While other surrealists often use chance or automatic drawings, Dali used surrealism and realism techniques which trapped his viewers. Dali painting made the impossible possible, making the audience question the real world. This was the launch of his fame as the most compelling and skilled artist. Now that you've learned about the psychological and technical genius of this painting, we can now talk about the final factor in Dali's rise to fame, the impact it had on the world. This painting debuted in 1932 in New York and was an instant sensation. The small canvas was acquired for $250 and then donated to the Museum of Modern Arts. The immediate purchase and display by an American museum made Dali a legitimate artist. It became an essential icon of the 20th century. He maintained his eccentric public persona, but with his infamous beard, infamous mustache, and his bizarre public statements. His painting and unique vision continue to inspire artists across the globe. In 2025, in the Dali Museum announced its Outside In new mural inspired by Dali exhibition, which featured contemporary muralist street art drawing inspired by his unique spirit. To summarize, we have seen how the persistence of memory created a psychological mirror for his art lovers, how Dali's unique technique made the impossible believable, and how it immediately launched Dali into his permanent celebrity status. The persistence of memory wasn't just a temporary sensation. His small painting remains the most single important artwork of Surrealist era. Thank you.